I'd like to read the following excerpt from my latest novel, category unknown, available in all reputable booksellers and the disreputable ones too. The story basically concerns the intersecting lives of four young people, three Londoners and one young lady from Spain, whose lives intersect over a tumultuous period between 1978 and 2008. Um, and in this particular section, the central protagonist, D, formerly known as Dennis, has somewhat fallen between the cracks. He's fallen through the cracks as an adult. He used to be a city analyst. Now he's a down and out, and he's reflecting on how this has come about. This is at roughly the same time as the collapse of Lehman Brothers in 2008 and the global financial collapse that followed. What the hell happened? How did I end up here? Why is there sawdust in my hair? The big philosophical questions, in other words, as I'm strongly encouraged to leave the premises before further action is taken. Get that soak out of here, says the landlord, as though I'm not really there, or at any rate not sufficiently compos to follow the simple instruction. Further action? What do these people take me for? Some kind of a social problem, like a leaking pipe, which can be fixed with further action. Cunts. I'll give them a leak, I think, only half managing to unzip before the system malfunction ends in a warm background torrent liberally soaking my strides. And then I am being forcibly ejected, laughing all the way as my impromptu movers are greeted by my urine shaker. The movers, both volunteering themselves from the landlord's favoured inner circle of daytime drunks, take just that bit longer to react than less seasoned types. The first, attempting a grip near my shins where the trousers are flapping wildly, initially seems puzzled by the difficulty of this manoeuvre. His digits, struggling, then slipping, eventually process the liquid data and the look of wanton bliss on my face. The dirty bastard, he's only gone and pissed himself, he observes, more in sadness than reproach. But I can tell he's still hoping for something more than the agreed free pint from the landlord for his troubles. I've been seeing that look more and more often of late, and it usually follows some relegation of me, myself, and the other bit to the third person. I was once a risk analyst par excellence. All the money bags would wait for me, like the man from Del Monte, to give them the signal before acquiring or dumping stock, and all of this right here in this city, just up the road in fact. And if I was one of the first, then I was far from the last to be frog-marched off the premises. He won't get to hear that either, how these eyes, like Laura Mars, can see disaster ahead, how it's all happening again, the collapse at Lehman Brothers and the domino effect everywhere else. All he sees is a soak, a paraffin, and like so many others, he's fooled by the surface. The elasticated waistband, the highly niche bodily ferment. And even if I were to tell him, he'd never believe me. I'm a soak, not stupid. I see what's happening here. Faye Dunaway sees, and so do I. All this money, these stone gargoyles, their finances, all of it built on castles of sand. I talk to Faye about this sometimes. Laura too, Laura Mars, a voice from the past, from space, not from Howrah. Ah, fuck it, that'll be the pause and play again. That voice, those eyes, they're so familiar. But from where? Mars? Howrah? The past? They snuck in unnoticed sometimes, and it makes me sad. Like Laura, these eyes have seen plenty. Too much even. lives boxed up and discarded. Yeah, too much even. Lives boxed up and discarded. The only figures that seem to count, those on a screen. Decimal points and futures heading east and then heading south. Or is it the other way round? But none of it matters because he won't be listening anyway. By now, his nose will be wrinkling and he'll be hoping, praying that the reek of failure, of loss, of precisely that life that went both south and east will soon leave him in peace. We come in peace, we leave you in pieces. But that's not it either. Never was. Mythopoesis easier to grasp than safety nets or bottles. For this soak, here and now, for me, myself and I, for the father, the son and the other fella, it's no use at all. We just want to shout, we've seen things, my friend, things no mythopoet, or perhaps every mythopoet, should see. Fraud and ambition and hubris and greed. And we've tasted the lust and the pointlessness of it all. The lies and the love that turned out to be lies. And you know what, my friend? We're still here, but those boys at Lehman ain't. So what does that tell you? We're spirit made flesh, duppies, gins rising from the ashes of remaindered stock. They tried killing us off before, but it never works. Once, twice, 3 times a lady, but you don't really see me, do you? This is just a fever dream and we're the clowns they never sent in. It's soulless, really, the executive function. And in the end, that's why they'll never succeed. In one shape or form, Duppy, Gin, D-Train will still be part of this place long after their monuments have evaporated, as though they were never really here at all. The executive function never learnt how to play, how to be playful, always so brittle while we morphed south of their disdain. Soul boys, sticksmen, sharp-tongued and seekers. We were always learning to play dead, you see, from the bomb sites to the classrooms to the trading floors. Even when we fought, we played, and then we fought again. And if money came and went, then style, my friend, was permanent. Oh, I know what you're thinking. You ain't so stylish now. But this isn't really me, Squire. You see that, don't you? Please tell me you see that much. No? Don't give me that look, Squire. We speak this way. Tongues, loosened by drink. But we've always spoken this language, my friend. South of the drink, all mixed up, free of your stink. He'll start to physically move away then, ears still stinging with my babble. So he'll never really know what we knew all along. The Mithraic temple, subsiding once more under the weight of its own lies. He won't spare a thought for the cracks in the system that no one could have predicted. And, oi, fella, careful, that's my pissy Lois you're manhandling. I land heavily on the pavement, but an impressively high Guinness intake cushions the blow. I lie there and laugh, woozy but unbowed. It's a good joke, I think, the one about my urine-soaked trousers. But even in this state, I can see that it's lost on the landlord's pet. Bloody teacher's pet, with his free pint in the offing. A nice play on words, I think, my pissy Lois, before I remember that these are not Lois, far from it. These have an elasticated waistband. And then it hits me. The only things which will be fraying today are my nerves. I stop laughing. I am lying in the street, soaked in my own waste. How did this happen? How did I get here? Like I said, the bigger questions.